What is good, YouTube? In today's video, I got y'all the new top 5 metal loadouts you guys should be running. So if you enjoyed the video, let's break 150 likes, and also make sure y'all subscribe, those notifications turned on. With that being said, let's get into it. The first gun up here today is going to be the FFAR1. This is one of my personal favorites to run in the game right now. I really enjoy just the high fire rate, feels very satisfying to use, great TTK, great mobility, useful in a variety of situations. So overall, it's really awesome. So first thing, in the optics section, what we're going to do is we're just going to go through on the Kepler Microflex. And the reason I'm doing this is just because I like to run a bit more of an aggressive setup. It is still a long range AR, but this is primarily used for something like Rebirth Island. You can definitely switch out one attachment and you'll be good to go for something like Verdansk, but I will say that the Kepler Microflex is my go-to, or something like the Volziski Reflex. And right now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and hit the customize button, go to the reticle, and throw on the blue dot, as that is my go-to whenever I'm running a red dot of some sort. After that, we're just going to go right here to the magazine. Since we're already on it, we're going to go throw on the extended mag 2. This is going to give us 60 rounds in the mag. Pretty standard, pretty tried and true. No reason to kind of mess with this at all. I mean, it works, so you know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Also, I'm a 60 round mag kind of guy, so I quite enjoy this. Get help unlocking Dark Matter, Abyss, and Nebula camos in Black Ops 6 with Mitch Cactus. They're absolutely the biggest and most reliable in Call of Duty right now. Whether you want something across multiplayer, zombies, or Warzone, they're completely legitimate for all platforms. They're super trusted by the community, and you may have seen them all over YouTube, and that's for good reason. They'll unlock all your camos, augments, and more without needing to lift a finger. With over 17,000 reviews and thousands of personalized vouchers, they're the go-to for all things in Call of Duty. Use code CHUCK at checkout for 5% off. After that, now we're gonna go to the underbarrel section, and we're gonna go throw on the vertical foregrip here for this gun. I don't really believe going down here to use the G grip is going to be beneficial. I don't think the G grip really is all that great. I personally don't use it on any of my builds, and it's just because it doesn't really excel in anything that I feel like, you know, I'm losing out on, whether it be a Ranger foregrip for an SMG or a vertical foregrip for like an AR. It doesn't really feel like it does anything more than like the other ones would, so I'm just going to go for the vertical foregrip. After that, a barrel section, I'm going to go through on the reinforced barrel to increase out our damage range and bullet velocity. We take a look at this. Our effective damage range is 54.5 meters, which is awesome. Our bullet velocity is over 1,000 meters a second, which is exactly what we want. Basically 1,100, so that is really good. And you guys can basically stick with that no matter what map you are playing. Just go through on the reinforced and it'll be taken care of. Now for the last attachment, which you guys can definitely switch out. I'll tell you guys this right now. My go-to is the mono suppressor, and I'm just going to keep it a stack. It's going to have some recoil. Like, it will have that recoil, and you will have to pull down. But overall, I really like it, and it makes the gun have a wicked bullet velocity, more damage range. Like, it hits really, really hard, but of course, you have to deal with the recoil right there. So if you guys don't want to deal with that, go throw on the compensator, and you'll be taken care of. But basically, the compensator, if you want recoil control, obviously, which is better for probably something like big map, or if you just struggle with recoil control anyways. And if you're really good with recoil control, then try the mono suppressor, and I promise you this thing will hit like a truck. So go ahead and slap that on there, and that right there is my full build. Next up is going to be the TR2, but we're not running this in the long range form. This and the DM10 received another nerf, actually just right before what we're going to be throwing on here, which is going to be the TR2 CQB auto conversion. So this takes the TR2 and makes it into an SMG. It is part of the COD Tunes event. Very simple to go ahead and get. You just literally go into like battle royale, casual, go find a helicopter and fly straight through the the downtown overlook, whatever it is. Basically just fly straight through that thing, the biggest building in downtown, and you can essentially just leave the game after that and you have it unlocked. So it's really simple to do, so go ahead and just do that. And then of course we have the TR2 auto conversion here as a result. So we're going to slap that on there, and now we can build this thing out accordingly. Couple ways to build it out. I'll show you guys the most effective. So we're actually going to skip the optics section for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw on the suppressor here on this gun. The reason being is just because the muzzle flash is super annoying, like really, really annoying, frustrating to use. So I did not like it when I was running it unsuppressed or without an optic. So I would say to go for the suppressor here, or to go for like something like a Kepler Microflex. Essentially, that's going to be the attachment you can switch out. I'd say the Kepler is going to be great as your first attachment, or if you don't want to have an optic, go ahead and slap on the suppressor, and that'll take care of your muzzle flash and make this the iron sights significantly easier to use. After that underbarrel section, we're just going to throw on the Ranger foregrip here as per usual. I think this is really solid, and you guys can definitely go ahead and run that. No real reason to run the vertical foregrip on this thing. It doesn't really have much recoil at all. You can go throw on a magazine here. Like, let's say you want to throw on the full auto mag. This is really solid. And honestly, this thing has 40 rounds to begin with. So if you feel all right without, using the auto extended mag, then you don't have to do that. It's one of those guns where it's fine using the base magazine, which is kind of a little bit odd, but it actually does work really well. So you can slap that on there and be good to go. And for our last attachment, we're going to go ahead and throw on the ergonomic grip here, as this is our go-to for all close quarters SMGs. This does not change with the TR2 CQB conversion kit. So you just want to go and throw that on there. And if you guys don't want to go ahead and run the auto extended mag, then go throw on a stock of some sort and throw on like the balance stock, and you'll be taken care of in that regard. Overall, really awesome and fun gun to use. Next up, I want to show you guys a build here for the Kilo 141. This is a really solid AR. It's one of the best ones in the game to use, of course, besides the FFAR. Of course, there's the Kilo here. We have the GPR. I mean, you really can't go wrong when you're using these guns. So let's give you guys a build for it. First thing, we're going to go throw an optic of our choice on, which is going to be the Volzinski Reflex. This is what I feel the most comfortable with using when I am using the Kilo 141. So I quite like this, and I think it is really solid. So you guys can go ahead and do that. Customization, of course, we're going to go throw on the blue dot here, just because that looks better to me, obviously, than the standard red dot. Nothing wrong with the regular red dot, but I mean, that's just what we're using. Now in the magazine section, you throw on extended mag 2 here. Listen, 60 rounds in the mag is great. I'm a 60 round mag kind of guy, and it works out awesome. No reason to go for the 80 round extended mag 3. Not beneficial. I don't really think it's that great. And honestly, the 60 round mag on this thing reloads very, very quickly. So there's not really much of a reason to not run extended mag 2. Obviously, you can see in your cons, you don't even lose reload quickness. So it's almost like a free attachment in that regard. Underbarrel section, we're throwing on that vertical foregrip here. Pretty standard for an assault rifle. Barrel section, what you guys want to go and do is run the reinforced barrel. You can see damage at effective range with this is going to be, of course, 44.4 meters, 1131 meters, or 1131.3 meters a second in bullet velocity. So that right there is going to be the move. I wouldn't recommend the gain twist or the long barrel. Definitely not worth it. You want to go for the full reinforced barrel. And lastly, in the muzzle section, this is going to be pretty, similar to the FFAR, where you guys can go for the mono suppressor, which is going to be a great option if you guys can control recoil on the gun. Of course, anything with a mono suppressor will hit harder over distance. Bullet velocity is going to be faster, damage range is going to be better, but of course you're going to have more recoil, unless maybe you're running an 8 attachment build, in which case you throw on like recoil springs or something else like that to help with that. But overall, mono suppressor is a great option. And then for this gun in particular, I'd recommend the ported compensator. So this does help out. That first shot recoil on the Kilo is a little bit annoying, and that's what will get you. So the ported compensator is going to work out better overall than the regular compensator, but you can definitely, try it out and see what works best for you. But I'd recommend the ported or the mono suppressor. For me, once again, I'm going for the mono suppressor, as this works great. But for largely speaking, most people probably should just go for the ported. So I'm just going to go and select that. You guys kind of know my preferred build. Now for the number 4 slot here, I mean, this is not really in any particular order, but the SOG. This is a very slept on SMG, which has crazy good mobility, very easy to control recoil. Overall, like, this is a really solid SMG. Not that many people stay using. So first thing we're going to do is we're just going to go for the magazine. We're going to throw on extended mag 2 here, giving us 55 rounds in the magazine. I absolutely love that. So we're just going to slap that on there. In the underbarrel section, this is where you can, I would say it's very valid to run the vertical foregrip over the Ranger foregrip. You can still run the Ranger, obviously, but if you guys have used the SOG, which I'm sure you have, you know that it does kind of have some of that recoil, which can pull you off targets. Not the most fun to deal with, kind of like the Jackal PDW. So I'd say, honestly, sometimes the vertical foregrip is like the more beneficial thing to run. This is still a very fast SMG regardless. So vertical is, this is actually the way I ran it the last time I used it, was the vertical foregrip, and it felt very stable and easy to use. Next up, barrel section, we're gonna go through on the long barrel here to increase our overall damage range. 15.2 meters, this is exactly where we want to be. I've seen some people use the reinforced barrel, not exactly sure why, to keep it a stack, but overall I think the long barrel is the move, so go ahead and slap that thing on there. Now for our other attachments, rear grip section, ergonomic grip here once again. standard for all the SMG builds. And then in the stock section, this is where you can get a little bit fun with it. So the light stock, if you guys want to be truly like really fast mobility wise, the light stock will actually be great for you. But overall, if you want a bit more of that strafe speed while you're ADSing, this is what I recommend, the infiltrator stock, or that, or you can go down for the balance stock. I think the balance stock and the infiltrator are both fantastic options, but I think for this particular build, I'm going to go for the balance stock. I normally only choose between the balanced and the infiltrator on my SMG build. So this right here is my build. And for our last build here today, we're going to be showing you a build, or I'm going to be showing you, I don't know why I said we, but I'm going to be showing you a build of the FJX Imperium, which is a really solid sniper rifle that I feel like not as many people use because they're probably stuck on like the Kar 98, HDR, and, you know, kind of stuff like that, which is, you know, perfectly acceptable. But overall, this is a really good sniper from MW2 that has great damage range and you can really just absolutely fry. So first thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna go choose a suppressor to increase our overall damage range, stuff like that. So essentially choose one of these suppressors like the VT7, or the Mono, the Shadow Strike. They all do the same exact thing. It really just comes down to a little bit more of a visual preference at the end of the day. As long as you can check your detailed stats and make sure they all do the same thing, go ahead and do it, because they dumb down all the attachments so it's not like MW3 Warzone where you legitimately had 29 different options and they all did something maybe slightly different. They all do the same thing, so just slap it on. Barrel section, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go throw on that Fahrenheit 29. This is the move, gives you the most amount of range and everything like that. I think this is definitely like the go-to. Of course, you guys can see the retort down here, which does help you a little bit, you know, for 100 meters versus, you know, well, it's actually, never mind, it's the same exact thing. But overall, the Fahrenheit barrel is going to be basically the move on this. I would not recommend going down here for any of this other stuff. You need the retort barrel, just go for the Fahrenheit 29. Now we're going to go on back here to the stock section. What we're going to do is we're going to throw in the FJX Kilo Tac. This is just going to help us be a little bit more mobile. Honestly, works out great. No reason to kind of use anything else. This will definitely speed you up properly with giving you the least amount of, you know, downsides. I know you can see that flinch resistance con. If you guys don't want to run that, you can probably switch it out for another attachment of your choice. But overall, this is what I'd recommend right here. After that, we're going to go to laser section. We're going to throw in the very first laser to kind of give us a little bit more mobility, which is the Kimura RYL33 laser light. Absolutely love this. Aim locking, steadiness, stack stand spread, sprint of fire speed, aim down sight speed. Helps you be relatively aggressive with this sniper rifle, which is exactly what we want. And lastly, in the ammunition tab, we're going to go here and we're going to go throw on the high velocity rounds, which is going to increase our bullet velocity. So we got that 100 meters essentially of that effective damage range, which is incredible. Bullet velocity is 1358. So you have a really effective sniper that can down people from crazy distance in a bullet velocity that is indeed faster than the HDR. So really cool stuff. Definitely recommend for you guys to try this build out. Hope you guys enjoyed today's top 5. If you guys did, give it a like, subscribe, check out this other video on screen, and I'll see you all next time.